Hello, Bodarians, and welcome back to Boldly Becoming, the space where we talk about living boldly, walking in purpose, and answering the call on your life. I'm your host, Kennyetta, and today we're talking about friendship in a new era, and more specifically, the beautiful gift of chosen family. Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And in John 15:15, Jesus calls us friends, showing us that friendship itself carries divine weight. Friendship changes as we grow older. Some connections fade, some stay steady, and then out of nowhere, God places new people in our path who become just as dear as family. That's where chosen family comes in. The friends who sharpen us, walk with us, and remind us that love is not bound by bloodlines alone. But sometimes it's not just fading away, it's shifting. A friend who once filled one role in your life may step into a different one. And that shift can feel jarring, even like rejection at first. But yet over time, those changes often become blessings in disguise. It shapes us as we continue to evolve. These shifts make room for growth, new connections, and deeper understanding of what true family looks like. Reflect on that for a minute. What does true family look like for you? Even if you didn't have that ideal family growing up in your household that are your bloodline, what does your true family, what do you want it to look like? And what does it look like now when it comes to your friend circle? Now, then there are friends who have remained, those rare souls who walked beside us since childhood, or who weathered every valley and mountain of our adult lives. Their steady presence is a gift we can't overlook. And we also honor the friends who, for personal or internal reasons, had to step away for a season but return later as if no time has passed at all. These friendships remind us that true connection doesn't always disappear. It can pause, breathe, and return stronger than before. Friendship isn't always forever, and that reality can hurt. We grieve when people who once felt permanent are no longer part of our daily lives, and it's important to honor that grief. But it's also important to remember, endings can make space for new beginnings. And sometimes that grief cuts even deeper when a friendship is tied to an intimate relationship. When we lose a partner, we don't just lose the romance. We often lose the friend we laughed with, dreamed with, or leaned on in life's hardest moments. That kind of loss can feel like a double heartbreak, grieving the love and the companionship all at once. And I know this personally. When the person I once called my favorite person, and sometimes, guys, and it's just me being honest and being vulnerable with you guys, I still feel like he's my favorite person at times. But when we decided to go our separate ways, I was letting go of a 15-year love. And yes, it was needed. But I also had to grieve the change and the disconnection of a 20-plus year friendship. And that loss was devastating for years. And sometimes I'm still, but it's still devastating. And even though I'm still going through it, it's still taking me time to see what is doing through this time and through this time apart, during this breakup of this friendship, breakup of this love. But it's okay to name that pain. It can feel like rejection, abandonment, or even betrayal. But even in that ache, God makes space for healing. Over time, we begin to see that those endings, as painful as they are or were, can open doors to new depths of connection, self-discovery, and yes, even new friendships that remind us of the beauty of chosen family. And that's what I've been finding in the past few years. That self-discovery piece has been amazing, and it's been helping me through that grief. And I know that God is doing the same in others' lives. I know I'm not the only one who's feeling this way. And whether it's a relationship that's broken up and the friendship is disconnected now, or whatever that disconnect in that friendship is, God is using that for you. And there's purpose in that to allow new things to happen. Now, life has a way of surprising us. Sometimes the people who change our lives the most are the ones we least expected to meet. It could be a random introduction, a shared interest, a new group. These chance encounters often carry more purpose than what we realize at the time. I experienced this in a powerful way at work. I stumbled into an amazing connection that has since grown into a blooming friendship. This incredible woman welcomed me into her world, and I welcomed her into mine. We've laughed together, cried together, and even created milestone accomplishments side by side. Without hesitation, she agreed to run a half marathon with me. And that journey bonded us in ways I did not see coming. What makes this connection so surprising is how different our upbringings and beliefs are. As many of you know, I am deeply devoted to my relationship with God. Her background, though, is more agnostic, and her experiences with faith and church were the opposite of mine. But here's the beauty. Those differences have never hindered us. Instead, we've been able to talk openly, respect each other, and grow through our conversations. I can honestly say I've grown in the 3 years I've known her. Our friendship has opened my heart to love my neighbor even more, and I know it was God-led. It's reminded me that sometimes the very people God sends to sharpen us comes from places we'd least expect. And Boldarians, maybe you've had, I cannot speak today, but you've had a connection like that. Someone you never imagined would become a friend, but who turned out to be exactly who you needed in this season. Chosen family isn't accidental. It is divine alignment. These bonds are built with intentionality, trust, and love. They are sacred because they carry purpose. These are the people who see us fully, accept us without conditions, challenge us when we need sharpening, and walk beside us through valleys and mountaintops. And here's the sacred unraveling. Sometimes chosen family takes the shape of what we were missing. A friend can show up like a parent when our biological parents couldn't. They can become like a sibling when blood relatives weren't safe. They can even stand in the place of a partner, offering love, loyalty, and companionship, especially for those of us born into toxic or abusive environments, or when family simply wasn't able to show up the way we needed. That's why these bonds are more than friendships. They're a covenant. Chosen family prays for us, covers us, holds us accountable, and reminds us of who we are when we forget. Scripture gives us such a powerful picture of this in Mark 2. When the lame man was healed, not because of his own faith, but because of the faith of his friends, they carried him, tore open a roof, and lowered him down to where Jesus was. That's what chosen family does. They carry us when we can't carry ourselves. They bring us closer to healing, closer to hope, closer to God's love. Family isn't only who we are born to, it's also who God's placed on our path to journey with. And when you recognize chosen family, you realize you're standing on holy ground in the everyday because these connections are living, breathing evidence of God's love in action. Friendship in adulthood isn't random, it's purposeful. Whether through loss, surprising new bonds, or the sacredness of chosen family, each connection carries weight in shaping who we are becoming. Friendships may shift, some may fade, and some will show up in the most unexpected places, but each one has a role in God's greater design. So if you found chosen family in this season, treasure them, cover them, walk with them, and if you're still waiting, stay open because God has a way of sending the right people at the right time. I want you to give yourself this affirmation. I want you to say this affirmation daily. I am open to meaningful connections. I welcome the gift of chosen family into my life, and I will nurture those bonds with love and intentionality. Let's do that one more time. Say it with me. I am open to meaningful connections. I welcome the gift of chosen family into my life, and I will nurture those bonds with love and intentionality. Thank you for joining me on Boldly Becoming. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who feels like family to you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for even more content. And make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook so you never miss an update. And as always, live boldly, walk in purpose, and never stop becoming.